minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth. Y'all ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth. Y'all ain't never went. They had us fooled for a minute, but we walk now. They getting hot under the collar, cause the truth side try to take Genesis and cover it under the rock. But you can't hide what the master already knows about. This population is programmed, spoon fed news for food. They wanna go to Mars, but they ain't never touched the moon. The proof is in the pudding, I don't need to see no rocks. For the judgment of your character, you like to punch a lot. Your body language suspect, like you wanna get out of here. Cause the truth is, y'all ain't never left up out of here. We firm in this firmament.
A lot of people would like to think that astronauts fit into one particular mold, but that's not really the case.
We're a little tiny grain of sand in a vast universe, and we got to the next grain of sand, the moon.
Good morning. It's T-minus 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 53 seconds, and counting.
This is astronaut Edwin Aldrin, lunar module pilot for the Apollo 11 moon landing mission.
I was born in Montclair, New Jersey.
When President Kennedy had in mind the best and the brightest in America, it's folks like Buzz Aldrin that he went out and tapped.
I grew up in an aviation family. My father was quite a pioneer.
Man has shaken the dust from his feet, and today, when he travels, he demands to go in a swift, straight line, by air.
I loved the feeling of breaking free from gravity. I loved going as fast as a human being could go.
Timing is everything.
2 minutes, 10 seconds, and counting.
He's a hero you've all read about in the history books. Schools in Virginia and Illinois bear his name. His name is Buzz Aldrin.
I'm Lieutenant Aldrin. I just got down off my 56th mission. I'm stationed here at Advanced Base in Korea.
And it's just minutes to the historic launch of the Apollo 11 with
All of us who happened to come along at just that right time, with just the right credentials.
Mr. Aldrin is a graduate of West Point. He flew 66 combat missions in Korea.
I do, however, remember my 37th mission rather vividly. That was the mission I got my first MiG destroyed.
T-minus 1 minute, 35 seconds.
Timing again. I knew how to intercept airplanes in the air, but what we didn't know in 1960 was how to rendezvous in space.
But it was a big leap from Korea to outer space. Aldrin, following in his father's footsteps, decided to get a doctorate at MIT, but his was in aeronautics.
We needed to rendezvous with friendly spacecraft in space, so that's what I wrote my thesis on.
T-minus 60 seconds and counting.
My dreams in the sky became even higher. I was selected by NASA to be in the third group of astronauts.
Dr. Aldrin has always been an explorer. He has ventured off-world twice.
And he not only set a record for spacewalking, but he devised techniques used on the NASA missions, and he holds a patent for permanent space station in space.
Space station mission control, do you read now?
40 seconds away from liftoff.
The last man to enter the rocket that morning was a 39-year-old Korean War veteran and graduate of West Point. Colonel Edwin E. Buzz Aldrin was about to begin the most important voyage of his life.
I could see the sun coming up, the waves coming in from this height, and look out and see the evidence of millions of people. And I knew that occasionally they were looking at me, but they didn't know that I was looking back at them too. And it was a moment of brief solitude that I said to myself, I just don't want to ever forget this moment where I can just contemplate how wonderful my life has been to get me to this point.
Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Many of us and many other people in many places have speculated on the meaning of this first landing on another body in space. Would each of you give us your estimate of what is the meaning of this to all of us?
You want to try that?
After you. Well, everybody looking at me?
Appreciate it very much if you would remain seated so the crew could leave. They want to be at the luncheon at 1 o'clock, just slightly ahead of you. Thank you very much.
Never win, nah, they ain't never win, nah, they ain't never win, nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never win, nah, they ain't never win, nah, they ain't never win, nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never win.
The thought occurred to me that do I really want to be on the first one? And I came to the conclusion that I really didn't, because I could anticipate a little bit at that time all the commitments and responsibilities that would go along with being on that first flight. And I was a little apprehensive about all the public appearances and so forth. And I felt, gee, if I want to do it, fine. The second flight is going to do the same thing, maybe a little more. Why not go on that one instead of the first? At the time, you feel very much, or I did feel very much on stage.
At the time, you feel very much, or I did feel very much on stage.
240,000 miles away, it doesn't seem like on stage, but when you know that millions of people are watching on television, listening to your voice, you're, in a word, apprehensive of not doing something wrong or not fulfilling what's expected of you.
Can you remember if you were disappointed when the decision was taken, a month or so before you actually went to the moon?
Oh, yeah, certainly disappointed. But I think that my life would have been a little more hectic had I been the first. Who knows, I might even decided to become a college professor the way Neil did.
You'd do it all again?
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be trying moments if I did it again. But having gone through it once, I'd be a much smarter person.
And yet, Buzz, it almost destroyed you.
Right? But I think I'm a better man for having experienced it.
Never went, nah, they ain't never went. Never went, nah, they ain't never went. Never went, nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went. Never went, nah, they ain't never went. Never went, nah, they ain't never went. Never went, nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went.
Right now, Fox is looking at the documentary.
Foxes.
Right. Okay. Let me just go ahead and check your audio.
I mean, do you have Neil Armstrong interviewed already?
No, he doesn't want to be interviewed.
Well, I know.
Why does he not give interviews?
Well, because that's his personal choice. And I guess it's mine, in a way, to do things when they've been researched and worked out as far as a business arrangement. This is not news. This is not an anniversary.
Well, actually it is. We found a very unique reel of footage that we have queued up to show you.
Yeah.
And it's from the mission. And to our knowledge, no one has ever seen it before.
Mm.
And it's 30 years old.
And you want me to see this while you have me on camera?
Well, and to tell us what it is. I mean, it's...
Well, I don't know why I should do that.
It's a very unique
well,
footage.
It may be that I need to see it, and then we sit down and we talk about what you're taking a picture of. I don't see where there's an advantage in it for me to do what you're asking me to do. I see all sorts of pitfalls. I see people who have managed to talk to somebody. Who did you talk to in our office?
I talked with Heather at Tor Books.
Yeah, but is this helping book promotion? Are you going to be putting anything out during the time that I'm marketing books? See, Heather does not represent me for the things you're talking about. She represents a book selling activity.
I think when you see the footage, you'll see that it's very extraordinary, one of a kind, behind the scenes type of footage.
Yeah. Well, if it is, why do you have access to something that no one else has seen before?
Serendipity, I guess. And it was recorded on the 18th
of what?
Of July, 1969.
Telephone 11, Houston, Goldstone said that the TV looks great, over.
Do you remember this?
On the 18th?
Sure. Okay,
Again, the illusion they are attempting to create is the Earth at a distance, to demonstrate their far journey from it, and their ability to survive passing through the Van Allen radiation belt. Understand, too, that only about 20 seconds of this raw footage was ever broadcast to the public, and these conversations discussing their deception
What is your
need to be
proposition?
confidential.
That we didn't go to the moon?
I know for a fact that you did.
Here they discuss that these
I know for a
television
fact that you did
transmissions
not.
were in fact
You know
not
for a fact that we did
broadcast
not.
live, as
That's
everyone
correct, and
believes.
you'll see this tape
They were
proves
first
that.
Okay, well,
screened and
I'm not interested
for playback later.
in satisfying your suppositions when there's all this evidence that we did.
This proves, as you see, that you were using the window to demonstrate that you were halfway to the moon when you were
Turn the
doing an
camera off,
illusion with
please.
the window.
Sunlight from entering
Turn the camera off.
through the other windows. If the window was
And this makes
completely
you
filled up with a TV camera, as
real
you say,
famous person
then
that
an
has
astronaut's
discovered
arm
this
would not
and
be able to get
reveals
between the
all
camera
this
and the
stuff.
window, as it
What an
obviously
ego you
does
must
here in
have
this
to want to
outfit.
propel yourself
like this.
That's not why I'm doing it, and God knows that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the truth to come out because I think it was wrong.
You can also notice how the astronaut...
But you're doing it the wrong way. You don't mislead somebody like me to come in here.
If you didn't go to the moon, that's misleading people. I'm showing you this tape.
Okay, we went to the moon. We're not misleading anybody.
Then how is it possible that this is the window? It's shot to make it look like...
Look, you can manufacture all you want with
this
these
is
things.
straight. This isn't manufactured.
Sure.
You know that it isn't.
Never went, nah, they ain't never went, never went, nah, they ain't never went, never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went.
Howdy, Buzz.
Who's that?
How's it going? Remember me?
What's your name?
Bart Sibrel.
Would you give your name to my
I love
assistant?
Yeah, I got one for you, one for your lawyer to sue me.
That's right.
I hope you do. I'd love to go to court and show the window shot.
I know you'd like to get a lot of attention, wouldn't you?
Well, you're the one getting money for something you didn't do. You're getting a lecture for walking on the moon when you didn't. Well, that's called being a thief.
Why don't you just
That's called being a thief. Do you think you can get to heaven without repenting? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
Please?
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything.
Tell him to get out of here.
This is a hotel.
We'll call
Right,
the police.
We pay.
Come on in here, we'll call the police.
Solicit on
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir. I don't have nothing to do with this. But you cannot solicit on this property.
We just paid to rent out the penthouse to shoot up there. So
you can't solicit like this on this property.
Keep shooting.
All right. Well, then I'd go through my measures.
Yeah.
You got to keep shooting, man. Okay. Well, you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
Just come with me, Buzz.
You really like attention, don't you?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
They ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and
Never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went.
WikiLeaks has released more classified documents than the rest of the world's media combined.
Picking up the wounded. Returning information to gauge. Light them all up.
You want to be in pictures.
That's the best. Let's say the other one to Fred. I think that's awfully good. That one and the one before it was pretty good. We have about 15 seconds. Oh yeah, you got a lot of time here.
I claim this land in the name of...
What do you got now? Now move.
because we didn't go there, and
Ready? And action. Cut it, Jim. There you go. Quit that. Good for. He needs to go off this mark.
Once more, please.
Otherwise, he, let me walk it again. Tell me. I don't want back in the middle of it. Here's what we really need is for him to go to his left and then kind of veer back. Is that right?
Because we didn't go there, and because we didn't go there, and
exactly right, and it has to be. We have to be high enough so that we've got you against blue sky and not against Earth as you're coming in. You're coming in a descending approach as you get in.
Over. We can rehearse it. Said, go back and we'll rehearse it and see how it looks.
because we didn't go there, and because we didn't go there, and
Ready and turn.
Use the second marker there.
Love you, yeah. Well, this is a hell of a time not to.
That's right.
We're in a little deep now,
right.
fella, let me tell you.
We're rolling.
Stand by, we go.
Marker? Yeah. Right now, Jim, that was better.
Forget it. Wait a minute.
The third deep. Okay.
because we didn't go there, and
The third deep. Okay. Cut the third.
Hail site coming up right now.
Right now, Jim, that was better.
Rehearsal, guys.
All right, this is just rehearsal. Ready and action.
Never went, nah, they ain't never went, never went, nah, they ain't never went, never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went, nah, they ain't never went, never went, nah, they ain't never went, nah, they ain't never, put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went.
We had to make a pen float in space close by William Sylvester, who was lying asleep in a seat. So we devised a rig, which was a large circular sheet of glass surrounded by steel and bearings so that we could rotate the sheet of glass. And then we had some double-sided tape, newly invented, and we put the pen on the with the double-sided tape on the glass, and then we rotated the glass so it floated in space.
Pen would float out of his pocket and gradually make its way to the other end of the studio and have to be rescued from space, just to make people realize the problems of being in space.
The stewardess then was walking down the corridor between the seats, and she came up and grabbed hold of the pen and walked off. She had to use stiction, to get rid of the stiction of the double-sided, so you can actually see her pull it off the glass if you look carefully. I think probably if she'd twisted it slightly, it may have worked better, but it worked.
Your pen, sir, it's floating out again.
Never went, nah, they ain't never went,
want to be presumptuous here. I can call you Buzz. Okay.
That's a legal name. Passport, driver's license.
And I am Uncle Coney tonight.
Uncle Coney.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
There wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
See, you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and
exciting.
A few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was
not a bad line. Yeah. This was.
Today we're taking a crucial step to secure America's future in space by reviving the National Space Council after it has been dormant almost 25 years, if you can believe it. During the campaign, Vice President Pence promised that our administration, because Mike's very much into space, would revive the National Space Council. And with this executive order, we're keeping that promise. Feel very strongly about it. I felt strongly about it for a long time. I used to say, before doing what I did, I used to say, what happened? Why aren't we moving forward? Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space. The human soul yearns for discovery. By unlocking the mysteries of the universe, we unlock truths within ourselves. That's true. Our journey into space will not only make us stronger and more prosperous, but will unite us behind grand ambitions and bring us all closer together. Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that? I thought politics would do that. Well, we'll have to rely on space instead. Every launch into the skies is another step forward toward a future where our differences seem small against the vast expanse of our common humanity. Sometimes you have to view things from a distance in order to see the real truth.
Minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went. Let us move for a minute, but we walk now. They getting hot under the collar, cause the true tie. Try to take Genesis and cover it under the rock, but you can't hide what the master Reddit knows about. This population is programmed, spoon-fed news for food. They wanna go to Mars, but they ain't never touched the moon. The proof is in the pudding, I don't need to see no rocks. For the judgment of your character, you like to punch a lot. Your body language suspect, like you wanna get out of here. Cause the truth is, y'all ain't never left up out of here. We firm in this firmament, you already heard of it. The moon is a luminary, so you can't land on it. Play the tape.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Y'all never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never went. Never went, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth, y'all ain't never went. This deception is impressive, we not dealing with the man. This was designed by fallen angels who fabricated the plan. This ain't conspiracy theories, this conspiracy facts. If you can't never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Never went. Nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth. Y'all ain't never went. Never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Never went. Nah, they ain't never went. Never went. Nah, they ain't never. Put your hand on that Bible to the truth. Y'all ain't never went.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Earth orbit, that's the farthest that we can go. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually. The moon, Mars, the moon.
Time's